Welcome. I'm Meredith. This is the Oasis Spiritual Empowerment Tarot. All about tarot, oracle, and empowering you. And today, I have an unboxing of a deck that I feel like everybody has. So I am definitely late to the game for this one. But thought you might be interested because this is a deck, and of course this is Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. This is a deck that has been crazy popular, but I held back from it because I thought it was going to be too busy for me. But, I recently received the Wyrd of Sarah Howard, and I love it so much. And I just thought, let's go for it and see. Really nice box. Of course, it's super huge. The huge book. Oh my goodness. And now it does have like the split thing for the decks. I think I'm going to just repurpose this box because it's a really nice box. But I'm not keeping the cards in that box. So let's get all this plastic off. Now again, I do feel like everybody's seen it, but let's take a quick look at the book. Because I haven't. Really nice paper. Yeah. Oh, I love that. For my tiny gang of outsiders, may our cloaks always hang together. Oh, well. Okay. So let's just see what we can expect in the book. We have a warm welcome, tattoo in the tarot, hook, line, and sinker. Then we get into the cards. And then we have a couple pages about reading tarot, some bonfire spreads, cherry-flavored truth bombs, glossary of the symbols, that's fabulous, interesting bones for further reading, listening, and research. I love that. And thank you and credit where it's due. There's a note about reversals. And then we have quite a bit of information. So we have a color image of the card. The title, it looks like a quick little paragraph about it. But then we have this Bonfire says. And lists the symbols. And so it looks like it does talk, just quickly scanning. It does talk about why certain cards or certain images were chosen and things like that, which is fabulous. We have a couple paragraphs about the minor arcana. A page about the suit. Then we have a color image of the minors, and the same information. A little like a quick snippet. If you just want to look up the meaning really quickly, but you don't have time to dig into this, you have this, which is nice. It's a little more than keywords, although some are cute, but it's quick. But then we have that Bonfire says, and we do have symbols again. So, yeah. So let's look at these cards. Now, I've seen these, of course, shown on different channels. These are the backs. I didn't study each card. I just kind of looked at them overall and thought, oh, there's too much going on. But it is just a teeny bit shorter than a standard tarot size. And a good deal wider. So it's about oracle size, I would say. Hamilton, please stop. Please. Hams, no. Mommy said no. Definitely glossy. But they feel nice. They feel a little plasticky, but I don't mind that. Now, of course, because it was split, we have this. But I think once I shuffle them, they'll be fine. So, let's just get right in. So there's a lot, and it took me a minute to make out the dog. But I can. Love this magician. And I think these black borders are so smart because as much as I tend not to like borders, I think with this deck, they're kind of necessary. So do we have the numbers like hidden away? Because we have the 2 here. Do you see a 0? I don't see one. Do we have a 1? I don't know. I mean, I look like, well, there's a 1 there. I don't know if that's, is that a 1 or is that, I don't know. I wonder if, so I only know a little bit about this deck, really. I wonder if these were pre-existing tattoos, and that's why, I don't know. I'll find out. I really like her, though. Oh, there's a 3 for the Empress. So maybe there are numbers for the others, and I just missed them. I definitely think this is a deck that I can spend a lot of time with each card. It's an interesting Emperor. So he looks worried, right? It's not really what you'd expect from the Emperor. It's a really interesting take. And there's a 5. There must be numbers, and I just missed them. You know, because we have that 5 there. I love the symbolism that we have. I mean, there's a lot. And one of the things I like about that is that for me, when I read, you know, at different times, I may focus, like, you know, as I lay a card out, like maybe that flaming apple is what really captures my attention. Maybe another time, maybe it's the rings, you know, and so I incorporate that in my reading. So as much as I was afraid this deck would be too busy for me, I do like a certain level of busyness, although, you know, not always. If you've been around for a while, you know there are some very minimalistic decks that I quite love. But that's fairly newer for me. But yeah, oh, and remember, like, share, and subscribe. And hit the bell so you get alerted when I post new videos. I like this. I'm sorry. See, I'm getting lost in the cards. Now I will say, looking at them one at a time, you know, I'm not seeing the numbers for all of them. Although I'm seeing most of them. But aside from that, I do think that I'm able to pick out the details. And again, I like that, you know, certain details stick out more than others. And I definitely feel that, you know, in readings, that's going to change. You know, what sticks out to me at the moment. We have that apple again. Do we have it bitten? So we had it bitten with the lovers, which, you know, to me is definitely like that Adam and Eve reference. This is going to be, I think, for me, working with this deck, some decks I do this, some decks I don't. But for me, you know, patterns are huge, and I think I'm going to end up really laying all of these out and kind of pulling together where the patterns exist, like with the apples. And maybe there isn't a pattern, right? Maybe she's just like, oh, I want to throw some apples in there. But I don't think so. Oh, wow. This is fabulous. And this. Wow, there's so much packed into each card. And I really don't feel overwhelmed by them, which is good. Now, we'll see when I lay them all out. That could change. But I will say that I think at least initially, this is a deck that I want to spend some time with, right? It's probably not the deck I'll pick if I want to just do a quick reading. And for that reason, too, I probably won't be using this anytime soon for other people. I think... Oh, wow. Look at that. Yeah, I think I will like to spend some time, you know, so I don't think I necessarily have to. I think potentially I could read quickly with this, but I don't want to. Yeah, I think this is a deck that's inviting me to spend some time. So the wands are pineapples, I guess. Which is kind of fabulous. So, and, you know, once we finish flipping through each card, I'll shuffle them, and then we'll read from the book, and then I'll lay them out. And we do have, I don't know if it's in every, I don't think it's in every card, but we do get the playing card associations a lot. Now, I didn't really notice to make sure that they're accurate, but I think they are. Love that. Oh, I love this queen. Paw. Oh, do you hear that wind? It's so crazy windy here. I love the Ace of Swords. How fabulous. And look how, I love that we have the yin yang. Yeah, there's a lot. I feel like I'm going to keep picking out stuff as I use this deck, which I really like. And I know some people don't like a glossy deck. I quite like the way it feels. We'll see how it shuffles. And it spreads out pretty well. You know. It's not the super slippery glossy, but it's not the sticky glossy. It's a sort of intermediate glossy. And you know, there's a Bonefire 2 coming out. I think in the fall. I want to say either September or November. I don't know. I don't know why, what happened in October, but I think it's November, but I could be wrong. Wow. So now this, I mean, it's very kind of, I don't know, it almost has a sort of like trippy feel, this deck, to me, which is very much not my normal aesthetic. Oh, I love this. But there are exceptions. Oh, you know what would either be really cool with this or horrible, because it's another deck with a lot of stuff, is the Spectrowhirl. I'm trying to move it. Oh, wow. A little faster, because again, I feel like everybody has seen this, but if you were like me and thought, oh, you know, this is like, oh, I love that, this deck is too busy for me, and you know, it's going to be too overwhelming, I thought you might be interested in my reaction, because again, that's kind of how I thought. But I gotta tell you, looking at the cards individually, I have no problems. I mean, it's taken me a minute to pick out all the different details, but I don't mind that. But it doesn't feel overwhelming at all. It doesn't feel like too much. I'm not sure what I feel with this deck. it's like I haven't quite gotten to that level of processing yet. I don't know. It's interesting. Usually the first thing with a deck for me is I feel something. I don't know what I feel. All right, let's give these a shuffle. I'm really dying to see them laid out. To kind of see how I'll react to them. And how I'm able to read with them. So, a bit stiff, but of course, you know, it's a brand new deck. So I have pretty big hands, and they're pretty strong. And I know this because I had to do physical therapy, and they did that strength thing, and they were surprised by how strong my hands are, apparently. It's because I'm always doing stuff with them. But, yeah, so it, you know, it's a little tight to get going. But I think overall it shuffles well, and I definitely think in time it's going to shuffle even better. So let's pick one and get an idea of what the guidebook has to say. Oh, the star. Okay. So. Went too far. Okay. So again, we do have that full color image. Now, there's a lot. I'm not going to read the whole thing. But that first little quick bit that we get. Let me pick her up. A glimmer of hope in the dark. A bright star. Distant but reachable. Upon which you may wish. A time of healing. Hard work could bring an idea to reality. Water the ground to nurture the seed. Results are not instant. Remember your youthful desires. So, let me give you a touch of what Bonefire says, because that's, I think, that's kind of, maybe not the point, but that's the best bit for me. So it says, next, we have the Bonefire Star. Who is this young lady, and what is she up to? Well, once again, she is our seeker, the fool, though the name begins to wear a little thin, considering the journey she has been on. The dust has settled from the shocking events of the tower, and she is ready for deep cleansing. She bathes her bruised, broken, and burnt body in the cool waters. She holds 2 bottles. With one, she replenishes the river from the waters of her own new consciousness. The other bottle is poured upon the base of the growing tree, whose thirsty roots drink also from the river. She gives back as much as she takes. This is the card of healing, renewal, and replenishment. The girl is naked and young again. Adolescent, her innocence returned to her. Once again, everything is in front of her. The star itself, well, there it is, right there, upon her forehead, emanating light from her third eye. She is an Aquarian, sees a glimmer of her future. It is something good, and in the wake of all that chaos, she is so grateful for something to hope for. Oh, wow. This is really... And then for symbols, we have cloverfish, fog, horseshoe, and Y. And then I think... Okay, so then we do have these glossary of symbols. So, for example, Y, the question answered at a fork in the road. The degenerating male chromosome containing the mysterious junk DNA. Wow. If you've been with me for a while, you guys know I'm not usually super keen on guidebooks. I am going to read this one. And I look forward to it. So we're just going to do 3. I like the way they feel as I lay them out. Yeah, I'm not having any issues with 3 cards anyway. I mean, we could let's try to just say, let's just say, you're not gonna, they're gonna get cut off, but I just want to see if I were to do like a bigger spread. Yeah, it doesn't, I was afraid it would kind of like sort of all swim together, and it doesn't, which makes me very happy. Oops, getting off the, yeah, I gotta say, if you are kind of on the fence about this, if you were curious, but you thought, oh, it might be too much, I would give it a try, because it doesn't feel like too much. It feels just interesting. There's something. I'm not sure. There's something. I'm gonna figure it out. Let's see it with the Wyrd of Sarah Howard. And it's so funny because this is so big and then this is so small. If you want to see how the backs look. But let's just say, let's do this maybe. Oh yeah, I'm loving these together. And I quite like this kind of breaking it up. I mean, these are, definitely not minimalist either, but they're different, yeah, I mean, same kind of art style, but they're different. The cards are lighter, even like this has a dark background, but there's a lot of light. Whereas these are so dark. So I think it kind of gives your eyes a break too. Oh yeah, I'm really happy I got this because, as you probably expect, I think these are just really perfect together. And I'm sure I'll mix other decks in as well. But I don't know. Yeah, oh, I'm loving these. You want to see Spectrowhirl? It's probably going to be too much, but let's see. I'm gonna pause it because I gotta go get it. Okay, and I'm back. So this is probably crazy. You know what? I realized I was using this deck yesterday, so maybe that's why. But this is the Spectrowhirl Tarot, and it is by Benjamin Allen Simon. Now, there's a lot going on in this deck. Oh, and I should say too, this is the first edition. So there's a second edition, which I really need to get at some point, but for now, like there's a lot, right? Oh, look at that though. Actually, let me do it this way, maybe. right? I kind of like them together. And I know that seems crazy because there's so much. Normally I would want something maybe, you know, a little more open, you know, a little more minimal. But I gotta tell you, I kind of like this. I don't even know why, but I do. You know what? I think there's energetically more of a balance with these two decks. Yeah, like, you know, here we have Three of Wands, right? And here's the Sun. Now, just look at this for a second. How does this card make you feel? What do you feel when you look at it, right? Now, what do you feel when you look here? I mean, this is the Sun, but this card feels so much lighter to me. And it's not like a bad thing, right? I'm not saying like, oh, that's not a good Sun card. I absolutely don't feel that way. It's just overall, there's a lightness energetically with this deck that isn't in this deck, which is okay, right? Not all of that, you know, it. I don't mean like there's like it's bad in any way. It's just different. I feel like this is gonna sound weird, but maybe you can understand. I almost feel like this deck is attached to like a sort of half-life. What I mean by that is I think it would be good for shadow work. I feel like this deck is getting to a very deep place, which is beautiful. And that's not to say that this one doesn't, but this one does it holding a blazing torch, right? This one just kind of slips in and kind of blends in a little bit. You know, if you've seen my video about bridge decks, this fabulous bridge deck, you know, and essentially I'll link it in the description if you haven't seen it, if you're curious, but basically, bridge decks are decks that kind of help if you're in a really dark place, for whatever reason, whether you're sad or mad or what have you. You might just sort of instinctively reject something that's too light. You know, think about like if you spent an hour in a cave with no light at all, and then somebody jumped in with a flaming torch. You know, you would shy away. It would be too bright. You couldn't take that. But this one kind of steps in. Kind of says, hey, let me lead you back up so you can gradually become accustomed to the light. as we go from that total darkness to a little bit of light, just a hint, to a little more, and a little more. And that's, I think, I think this deck could be really powerful in that capacity. Oh, I love this card so much. Yeah. And if we add in, the Oracle, right? They still look how fabulous. Oh man, look how fabulous. Yeah, it's so funny. But I think I'm going to be using these together. Isn't that weird? And it's not a deck that I would have consciously thought of. In fact, I would have said, that's probably too much. But I really like them together. Now we'll see when I do a big spread if I continue to like them together. I might add in a more minimal style deck to kind of break it up, but maybe not. Wow. I'm so glad I got this. And I was really, even as much as I really love this deck. I mean, I just got it, but I really love it. I was still, I wasn't sure how I would feel about this one. And I've been curious about it for a long time. And I've been thinking, and this deck has been in and out of my cart for a long time. And I'm so glad I finally got it. And I can't believe I took this long. But, everything in its own time, right? So let me know what you think. Does this feel like overwhelmed to you? I'm really thrilled with how these three feel together. I really like them together. But let me know what you think. If you have these decks, do you have all of them? Do you have some of them? What do you think about pairing the Spectrowhirl? I think it's fun. Now I really got to get the second edition. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. And most importantly, just be wonderful to yourself. Be really, really wonderful, because you deserve the best, only the best, all the best, and that is my wish for you.